Both clocks are, they're both hooked together, it looks like.
Did you read through that whole transcript and make sure it was accurate? Oh my god. Amazing.
And I actually found a few
Can you hear me?
nothing.
Tell you what, a enjoyable baseball team in high school.
And then I saw,
Can you hear me?
then I read the letter.
They're number one in the state.
Something else might not be right, but we'll correct that later.
Oh, they have some.
Everybody ready?
Centers shooting three.
And I think there's a distinction between minutes and transcripts.
Call to order the Vermillion County Area Plan, regular meeting here December the 11th. Everybody stand for roll call, please. I mean for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now you can do roll call.
Larry Langley,
Here.
Bill Cox,
Here.
Ron Mack,
Here.
Brandon Ruth,
Present.
Barbara Phillips,
Here,
Bob Alexander,
Here.
Brian Stevens,
Here.
Joe Ellis.
Here.
We have a quorum. Everybody look over the minutes from the November 13th meeting. Give me a motion on that one way or another. If anybody's got any corrections, let us know.
Make a motion to approve the meetings.
Motion
Meeting
by-
minutes.
Brandon, approve the minutes.
I
I'll
second.
Second by Barbara. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Moving on to old business, violation updates.
Lauren Lomax is still cleaning up. He did, like I said, sold a piece of property, maybe selling another one. So I'll get cleaned up a little quicker. Ron Finger's in compliance. No longer in violation. Kevin Campbell is out of jail. Not in compliance by any means. He says he's working on it. With the weather we've had last week, he did get a continuance until February. Jade Warren, we go back to court with him here sometime soon. I don't have the exact date. But, and there's some other things that have come in the office that I've been able to deal with just making contact with the property owners to get some things cleaned up.
Okay. So that's it for the old violations? Okay, moving on to B, rules of procedure.
I'm not ready for us to move on that tonight.
Okay, you want to table that?
I'll make a motion to table that.
Motion by Bob, second.
A second it.
Second by Brandon to table the rules of procedure to the January meeting. Okay, new business.
Nothing before the APC tonight.
Nothing that I see.
On to the office report. Things have really slowed down in December. We're pretty steady in November and December, but December I'm down to 2 permits. And I've only had 1 claim. That's for our legal notice for the meeting.
Right.
However, I've been very busy. A lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of correspondence.
Hey, Penny, I might have missed it, but you said that you were going to check with the Sentinel to see about putting legal notices in there.
That was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
We, the Tribune Star hits more Vermillion County people.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody got anything else they want to add?
I just sent an email to you guys. I don't know, I'm pretty sure you all got it. I had a gentleman approach me about challenging the pilot project on the CCS based on the law is arbitrary or contrary to what the Constitution says it's supposed to do. And he just asked that the APC look at it, and if they felt strongly enough to send a letter to the commissioners asking them to follow up on it.
Did everyone receive that email?
Did everybody
Yeah,
read that?
I got that.
And
But with all that's going on, maybe you want to talk about that next meeting.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on new business. I didn't have a chance to look at the attachments.
And at the next meeting, I sent an email reply out, looking at, the UDO and limiting, our ag properties to so much % only used for solar within Vermillion County, so it kind of stays with the comprehensive plan, keeping everything going like, but we'd have to look at total acreage tillable, and then maybe at the next meeting, we could start discussing that amendment. Or maybe 5-6% dedicated on to solar, and that maintains our ag integrity of our county.
Yes, that's a good idea, Bob. Thank you. What's this here?
That's for the BZA.
Oh, how come I got one? That's
You
your.
put them on everybody's.
Huh? Oh, everybody
You put
gets
them on
one.
everybody's.
I'll take it home with me then. Thank you. Anybody else got anything you want to add? If not,
Hey, hold on, just real quick, based on where we were last year versus this year on permits.
We're up.
We are ahead of last year
Yes.
for residential permits,
Yes.
or just,
Just permits in general.
Just
we're up.
permits in total.
I don't break it down. I mean, could, but we're up over last year's. Oh, we still got 2 weeks to go.
okay, the county's growing,
Yes, it is.
thank you.
anybody else got anything they'd like to add? I'll add one thing. This is tonight's last meeting for Barbara. She's been on the board for how many years now? 4 years. Thank her for all her service and everything. And
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for
you'll be missed.
dedication to correct our English and our reading. and
Spelling.
Spelling. It's a good asset to have.
Scrivener's errors.
It will probably be
I should
missed.
turn my red pen over to someone.
I'm sure I'll still be reaching out on occasion going, help.
So I'd like to raise the question of the money that Apex offered, or Brulettes offered for the consultant that was supposed to advise the APC.
Yes.
I mean, you've been handling that, I assume, behind the scenes, but I mean, is there, what part does the APC play in that whole process? I mean, I've been privy to some of the things that have been passed around, but since it's a strictly BZA affair, is that something we need to change the UDO to reflect? If it's the case of, the BZA alone is going to make the decision, that there should be, something appropriated to them instead of the APC, or?
The APC handles, that's the account that the money went into.
Right.
But the BZA rules on all special exception and variances. And that's what the money was for, was to have it reviewed. We had Dan Taylor out of Crawfordsville, the attorney, review it, and then Chris Kaufman,
Aegis. Okay.
review it.
So if that's an APC allotment,
I'm not sure they're separate budgets.
They're not.
They're all one budget.
It's all the same pot,
okay. But then
correct?
the actual consultancy that we solicit, that goes straight to BZA, right?
I mean, who picks them?
Well, even like the information goes straight to BZA.
Yes.
It's not filtered through APC.
I
As it
think
were.
I have some, I've done it both ways.
Okay. I didn't know if it'd be clear in the UDO if we just amended it to where it was, in the case of the BZA being the sole judge.
They only do the BZA then, is what you're saying?
Right, like they would be the ones,
They're the ones that have to see it.
Right.
So sharing it with APC is just so you're aware of what's going on.
Right.
Informational, and plus with the situation, I understand exactly what you're saying, Brandon. But with the situation like Barb's leaving the APC, but she's actually on the BZA too. So in case January something was to go over, I look at it, that's very appreciative us to know, because somebody up here may be going into that BZA for a hearing that we might discuss in December. That's the only time I can see where, yes, definitely maybe look at what we're doing in January as far as BZA. And if we don't have the information, the person that goes into the BZA next year will go in blind. And so that's, I think that's important. Maybe during the end of the year, during the transitions of people leaving and off the APC that are on the BZA.
Okay, again, it was a curiosity of mine, just given how it's written.
This board will have to reappoint somebody in our January meeting to replace Barb on the BZA.
BZA.
Because you're right.
Yeah, my seat will be filled by the commissioners.
Yes, and then that's on the APC. And we, as the APC, have to appoint somebody, and I don't know who that who's
Joe
the,
is this year.
oh, Joe is?
Yes, Barbara is her seat.
Yeah.
My seat is responsible for being on the BZA.
Right.
So whoever takes my seat will
be
by
on the
default be
BZA.
on the BZA.
Okay. Okay, yep, I want to make sure that's clear. Anybody else got anything you want to add? Motion for adjournment?
Make a motion.
We're out of here.
Fastest one ever, guys, thanks.
Yes.
Have a Merry Christmas, be safe, stay warm, watch out for the snow.
They're not.
Okay, so I need APC to move down to the front row, BZA needs to come up. Did John make it here yet?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
John Graves? There he is, okay. Last time there was confusion on APC and BZA, so.
Oh, I imagine.
Yep.
There's Joe. Joe's making a break for it.
Probably.
He's leaving.
He's coming back.
Appreciate that. John, can you come in? Any question? It's different now that we have.
These are supposed to be designed before you leave.
Yeah.
I'll just have it during the meeting, so if you break and run, I got it signed.
I'll bring Sharon around. You want the BZA to get one of these?
Do you want us to move beginning?
Down, or you want to stay on that side?
I'd prefer to stay over here. It's easier for BZA out.
I've gotten one, thank you.
We're not gonna repeat. I gotta make a couple of
Sit close to me in case they start throwing shit.
Well, Penny, what, secondary to that question is what, I guess we're opening it up, and then if the APC members have any questions, then they can ask the question just like.
And APC has a work with the rebuttal. They did
Do they do the rebuttal from what was applicant to last meeting, and then they open it up for
And you all are aware that I got a letter from Jimmy Miller, 911.
Yes.
And I've got a letter, I think everybody, John, I've got your copy.
What's
County
Jimmy say?
council letter supporting it.
Okay.
I also have one from Eric, Eric Schmidt.
Soil and water, okay, and, yeah.
And I was gonna kind of, with those 10 questions I have, I was gonna kind of insert that into those.
You didn't by chance print out those new maps, did you?
I got them on overhead. Do you want copies for you guys?
I'd like to have a hard
Okay,
copy.
I'll be right back.
I'd like a big one. If you only got small, that's fine. I'll take whatever you got.
You betcha.
26.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
They go by faster.
It's scary. I mean, I'm just like,
So we probably could have said this afternoon. And I saw this gorgeous painting of a lot.
Maybe I'll move over.
Thank you.
where did you see it?
Hobby Lobby.
Oh, Hobby Lobby.
I'm gonna scoot down one more if you want to move over.
Oh, that's okay.
Or do you want to space out?
I think we could.
We don't want to cuddle up.
No.
Have you looked at this thing? This just came in?
Not yet.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I feel that if we looked at her, I mean, I know I went through that. I thought it was.
I didn't have time to go.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't as thorough as
I'll take one pass. Take one, pass it down.
I just don't know where else. I just don't know that.
They are on.
I think we're going to be more concerned about that.
Do we know what that is?
No, I told her, I can't make this change.
Okay, thanks everybody for coming out again tonight. BZA meeting's getting ready to start up. Couple of announcements I wanted to make. I'm sure everybody in this room is aware. This special exception is only for the Brulettes Creek Solar Project. I know there's been talk about it in the county. There are rumblings going on, but this special exception is only for the Brulettes Creek Solar Project. Second of all, I received an email today that the Board of Commissioners has hired Rick Hall from Barnes and Thornburg, right? Negotiating the decommissioning and road agreement and the economic development agreement. So those are being addressed. And if you spoke last time, because we're going to reopen the public hearing. For anyone who didn't get to speak last time, didn't have the opportunity, would like to come up and speak, they can. And we'll go from there. And don't hesitate to ask if anybody's got a question. We're all, you can tell, we're all on a learning curve here. You see my desk? It's a hot mess.
Okay, with that, I'll call to order the December 11th meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals for Vermilion County, Indiana.
Travis Newman,
Here.
John Graves,
Here.
Barbara Phillips,
Here.
Judy Kalansi. Here. And Joe Ellis.
Here.
Got a full quorum.
So is this new business or old business?
We need to do our minutes first, approve the minutes from the meeting and. Oh, yeah, it should have been under old. A should have been under old.
You can get anything on?
So, hold on.
Well, I don't think we have.
Have minutes.
Thank you.
I'm new. Get started.
entertain a motion.
Yeah. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? I thought everybody was
I'll
still
wait on
reading.
everybody to read. I move we pass the previous minutes of the meeting as presented to us this evening.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
You. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
That was an aye, by the way.
You read that all. Okay, now, under, I guess it's old business. Burlett's Creek Solar LLC has filed with the Vermilion County Board of Zoning Appeals a petition number 25-07 for a special exception for constructing and operating a 200 megawatt solar power plant on 2,913 acres located in Southern Help Township, Vermilion County, Indiana. And we will reopen, we had opened the public meeting last time. We got all the input we could, and then we closed the public meeting, but because there's been some other discussion and some people didn't have a chance to make their comments, we're gonna reopen. If there's anybody in the audience that has public comment now, this is your time to speak up. And no, like if you've already stood up last time and said your piece, we don't need you to repeat it. So you can come up and state your name and your address.
Hello, my name is Chris Pate. I live at 41 West, 700 South, Dane, Indiana. Sorry, kind of slightly unprepared for this meeting, but last time we went through this was with the wind turbines. I totally disagree with this. I mean, the few things that Vermilion County has is sunrise, sunset, great farming ground, and we're gonna ruin both those. Looking back through the history of just trying to recall my memory, this is a fraud. I mean, clean energy, the solar panels are made in China, giant footprint as far as bringing in the metals and stuff that's needed to make them, the batteries. So we're going to wait 20 years. We're going to pollute our own ground. We're going to run people out, and we're going to destroy the only things we have in this community. I'm 100% against it. I mean, you folks are a last line of defense and stuff like this, and that's the reason why we vote you in. So that's my piece.
Chris, what was your address? I'm sorry.
481 West, 700 South, Dana, Indiana.
Anyone else?
Well, I spoke last time, but I don't see anybody else getting up. My name's Tom Cundiff, 11755 South Highway 71, St. Bernice. When we were here last, we heard a discussion about property values. Now, I looked up the discussion from the study that came from Virginia University, and it said that it would not damage property values. If you look really close, it says it won't damage property values for agricultural land and for empty land. Look a little closer, it says as much as a 5% loss for residential land within 3 miles. Now, it seems to me that it behooves us to look up who it is that is producing these pie-in-the-sky dissertations. So I looked that up too. Professor Zhen Shan of the Qingdao and Guangzhou universities in China Professor Wei Jing of the Nankai University, Zhihei, Beijing, Pengfi Lui, Beijing International Trade and Economics Universities. Fascinating. All red Chinese. They have a vested interest in what's going on here, because from this thing that I gave you, you can see that the Chinese companies own Canadian Solar and Trinity, which are the companies that are producing all of the parts that will be used to produce their fields. There is a vested interest coming from Red China in all of this. And I could go on, because we have to start thinking about where the raw materials are coming from. 80% from communist China, 8% from here, 8% from Australia, 4% from Ukraine, which is why we're having such a problem there. Just recently, the Red Chinese launched a third aircraft carrier. We only have 2 in the Pacific. They're building a 4th nuclear carrier due to commission between here and 2030. They will more than double what we have. They are a pernicious enemy. And projects like this do nothing but give them value and reduce us. I not only oppose this, but I think that no project of this kind or company that promotes it should be operating in this nation. None of you should support this.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Ashley James, on behalf of the Vermilion County Council. I know I spoke with you last time. However, tonight we've had some conflicts. We could not have some of the members show up, and I have a letter.
Can you speak up a little bit?
I can try. I have a letter from all 7 council members and the auditor who have signed it. And so if anyone else needs a copy, I'm happy to hand them out. But it says, "Dear members of the board, on behalf of the Vermilion County Council, we are writing to express our full support of Apex Clean Energy's Roulettes Creek Solar Project near St. Bernice. While we respect the technical details and formal studies behind the project, our support comes from something simpler and more meaningful, what this project represents for the people of Vermilion County. First and foremost, Roulettes Creek Solar offers the county a long-term opportunity to strengthen our local economy without placing additional burdens on our residents. The increased assessed value from this project will provide important revenue for essential county operations. At a time when rural communities across Indiana are fighting to maintain stable budgets, this project gives us a reliable path forward. The added income tax revenue, along with the long-term stability for participating landowners, will benefit families right here at home for decades. We also want to highlight that what we have seen firsthand. Apex Clean Energy has been a genuine partner to Vermilion County. They have shown up not only in public meetings, but in our neighborhoods, our community halls, and our traditions. Through local donations, sponsorships, and support for events in and around St. Bernice, Apex has demonstrated an ongoing commitment to being part of our community, not just doing business in it. Whether it's helping local organizations, contributing to area activities, or listening to concerns from residents, they have consistently operated in a way that reflects respect and responsibility. That matters to us. These are the kinds of partners we want investing in Vermilion County. In closing, we respectfully ask the Board of Zoning Appeals to approve this project. The benefits are real, the partnership has been sincere, and the opportunity it represents for Vermilion County is too significant to overlook. Thank you for your thoughtful consideration. Sincerely, the Vermilion County Council and also the auditor.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Brandon Ruth, 2752 West State Road, 234 Cayuga. Just a couple of considerations. So the engineering consultant that Apex paid for, that I saw the information about, flagged several things in the submission, the application by Apex. They've addressed those, but I don't think they've done that adequately. I think there is deficiency in the application, but there's engineering materials that's actually lacking. And I don't think the attempted defense by Apex holds water if you consider that Aegis is an engineering outfit that had engineering problems from a high level. It wasn't even a deep dive analysis. So I think there's further analysis required to look into how much of the application is truly complete for you to be able to make a decision. But right now, I don't think it's adequate for a true evaluation to be made. There is an issue with discrepancies about structures on the project boundary. So there is Aegis's report requested confirmation that unoccupied structures are not actually dwellings. I don't think that was actually addressed by Apex. They didn't supply a confirmation that they were not dwellings. And that can't be assumed what those dwellings are. It has to be proven. I don't think they have that proof in the reply. Erosion control and SWPPP, which is fundamental for disturbing almost 3,000 acres of our county, have not been provided. Again, it's a future promise to be dealt with other agencies, but this is a decision that needs to be made now with the information in hand. So I don't think that's been provided, and I don't think that therefore you can make a decision based upon what's before you. And then I've made this point, I think in the last meeting, the comprehensive plan designates the entire region that they plan to put these solar panels and the arrays and the additional equipment as agricultural preservation areas. So it's not in concert with the comprehensive plan, which is one of the guidelines for approving a special exception. If you are considering approving the plan of Apex, I've sent an email earlier today that speaks about conditions that you should also be thoughtful about in applying to Apex, imposing them actually, as you're required to do to bring them into compliance with the UDO and the comprehensive plan. And that has legal precedence. It's not something arbitrary. But you have to bring their plan into accordance with public health, safety, welfare, ill use of the neighboring property. You have to make it consonant or in accord with the comprehensive plan. And it has to be compatible with the use of other land around the area that's intended. So there is legal precedent for you to set conditions upon the approval that includes larger setbacks, increased screening, reducing the amount of acreage. There's no reason why you cannot ask that to be done. Again, I've yet to hear justification from Apex why it has to be a 22,913 acre area, or why the amount of solar panels has to be the amount that it is. There can be additional environmental protections. There can be decommissioning safeguards, provisions for emergency response, limits on future expansion as far as what they plan, where they actually plan to put panels versus the overall area, protection of infrastructure, and noise, glare, and lighting restrictions, more specific things that you would want. And again, I provided potential UDO modifications in Boone County that they're looking to pass here in the next week that are much more strict than ours. So again, you can apply additional conditions if you so choose, if you think that's prudent for approval for Apex's project. 3 minutes?
Yeah, I wasn't timing you, Brandon, I'm sorry, but I'm sure your 3 minutes are up.
But I would also urge, if you want, and I think it would be not the most prudent approach if you don't want to apply additional conditions, because again, that's going to be what sets a precedent for future companies coming in. But I think also that setting conditions, that should also be run through the lawyer or the consultant that you all have in order to make sure those are completely above board, which again would take time. All right, thank you.
Anybody else? Here comes somebody.
My name's Trent Short. I live at 4201 West Wright Avenue. I'm here on behalf of the men and women that work for the Laborers Local 204. We would be working with White Construction to build this project. It'd be a lot of good man hours, and we would also kind of give a guarantee that we would use a lot of people that live in this county, excuse me, to work on this project. It's a win-win, I'm telling you. There's no doubt about it. Sullivan County has had great success with it. So I just want to encourage that we vote this project in. Thank you.
Trent, I got a question for you. Do you know by chance how many Local 204 provided jobs for the Sullivan Solar Project?
Well, I've got 750 members, cover 11 counties. And at Sullivan County, we had around 250 laborers on that project alone.
On the one project?
On one
because there were
project.
multiple projects.
Yeah. And the operating engineers as well, Local 841, they probably had 150 to 200 on that project as well. And the electricians, the same thing. So it's 600 to 700 jobs.
And the length of time for that?
Probably a year, year and a half.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell them don't be shy.
Can I ask some questions on that? On what that gentleman said?
Yeah, he's coming up, but then we'll get back to you, Chris.
Okay, thank you.
Bill Peebles, Vermillion County Commissioner. I know I spoke last time, but there's some other voices that I heard last time too. I just want to point out what's the job of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Is it to make the decision that the executives of the county have already made, or is it fact find and make sure that Apex is in compliance with the UDO that we passed this year? I'm kind of confused on what I see in here, and I want to make sure we're clear on that. That's all I got to say.
So I understand what the gentleman said, that it's gonna create some jobs for a year. So.
Say your name again, Chris.
Sorry, Chris Pate, 41 West, 700 South, Dana, Indiana. It's gonna create a couple hundred jobs for a few years. So ultimately what you're gonna do, you know, these solar panels are gonna build up, you're gonna lose farming jobs, and then the only thing you're gonna create is mowing jobs. And that's it. And long-term pollution. I mean, you have to think about long-term, not just tomorrow. How is this gonna benefit the county in any way? Because it's not. Again, we count on you folks, and I appreciate you a ton, but I mean, this is fraud. And just like the wind turbines, I apologize for not doing more digging like I did over that. I just kind of popped into this meeting last second, but the large footprint, where everything comes from, who you're supporting, and the impact on the community long-term need to be looked at greatly before a decision is made. And I would advise, just like the wind turbines, send this out to the whole community like you did, and let's have some open, honest debate about it before making a decision.
We have had meetings, but.
Well, last time during the wind turbines,
Sorry.
everybody in the county got a flyer, said, hey, come to this meeting in Clinton, come to this meeting in Dana, come to this meeting in Cayuga. And everybody had a chance to speak, educate themselves before they showed up. And I think that needs to be done before a decision is made. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys can raise.
You gotta let them respond.
John Moore, Mayor of Clinton, Indiana, and President of the Vermillion County Redevelopment Commission. I'm gonna point out to you, when we wrote the UDO, solar farming was an exception allowable for agricultural ground. They've done their homework. They gave you guys a mountain of literature. Well, I imagine you probably haven't had time to read it all, but they've done their homework. They're trying to be good neighbors before they're even established here. This project won't affect Clinton directly whatsoever, but it will affect the entire county, which means it does affect Clinton indirectly, because if the county prospers, the city's gonna prosper. You're gonna have people working there, they're gonna eat locally, knowing the laborers and the operators are probably gonna have a few drinks locally. So it's a win-win as far as improving the economy, but by the same token, it's allowed in the UDO. It is a qualified exception, and in my opinion, it ought to be approved.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Could I, before Bob speaks, could I ask a quick question from the, I guess maybe from the gentleman that talked about the laborers and or maybe somebody on the board here knows. With the electrical union that would be servicing this project, is it am I correct in assuming that the electricians unit is centered in Danville, Illinois, so the workforce would come from Illinois and not from Terre Haute?
That is correct.
Okay.
Well.
And that is because
it's
of how the county.
Is that, because our county associates with Vermillion County, Illinois.
Okay. And our county, Vermillion County goes to Illinois. Hart, Vigo goes to Terre Haute. Now, if they don't have enough workers, they'll draw out of the Terre Haute, or they could draw out.
They could draw out of Terre Haute also.
Right.
John, did you have a comment?
Well, I was just gonna say the same thing she said. Vermillion County electricians,
Union Hall.
Union Hall is in Danville, Illinois.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify. I mean, someone had asked me about that and I was not 100% sure, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Penny, do we have something printed out that just has our 4 findings of fact comments on it in here?
It's
in here somewhere, but still life me, I can't find it.
Take one and pass it around. That one's for you. Oh, yeah, but go, Bob.
I think that's it.
Bob Alexander, 1603 South Fish Street, Clinton, Indiana. Been serving on the APC, and I've served on the BZA. I just want to remind everybody here tonight what was, when the meeting was adjourned, the BZA was going to do their facts of finding and then present it tonight. And I appreciate some people didn't get to speak. They should. And I just wanted to make sure we just stick on your facts of finding, the special exception that there's only 2 things Apex is asking from the BZA. And that is your special exception for constructing and operating a 200 milliwatt solar power plant on 2,913 acres located in Southern Health Township. And then 2, which we've never heard from the last meeting during the BZA, is the second thing they're asking is a variance for the 50-foot height restriction for the purpose of having a substation which will have all 3 structures over 50 feet in height on parcel. So just asking tonight just to focus on the facts of findings that you guys adjourned to go review and then apply it to the special exception and the variance they're asking. I think when we look at the APC and we look at the BZA, we're part of growing the county, but the ultimate decision, which has already been given and blessed by the commissioners, is about the solar farms through the UDO. And so when we look at that in the comprehension plan, so that's all been approved, because we don't get to approve it, we just forward it on, recommended approval. So please just, if you don't mind, so I don't get kind of lost, I'm just following two things that I want to hear, and that's all we should hear tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob, I would just say that we had some additional information come in this just the past 2 days. So,
Yeah, I read
which
that.
was part of the process.
Yeah. I didn't know the job was one. Sorry about that.
Okay, I don't,
I'd move to close the public discussion.
Second.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
I would have a few questions for Apex if their representative wants to. And some of this may be technical, so you can choose who you want to speak. On your map, you have 2 sites that are listed as in negotiations for participating and non-participating structures. And this map was dated 12/5. Is there any update or change in those?
It's my first hearing, so if I need to say anything, just let me know. My name is Nathan McClellan. I've been working on the Good Neighbor Agreement effort for Apex for the past 2.5 years, but I've been coming to the county for almost the past 4. So the ones in negotiation, yes. So the newest property is the Lubavitch parcel, which is on the far eastern side, which is the first blue outline circle you can see there.
Is it up there?
Yeah. I can point to it if you want. Right here.
Okay.
Young family recently bought the house, so change of ownership's happened in the past, I believe, couple months.
Yeah.
We are in talks with them. It's the Tanners, Ethan and Aaron. Talked with Aaron on Tuesday? Yesterday, Wednesday.
And that
So
was your second
time talking to them, yes. And the other one, we're in negotiations with Mr. Dale Jackson. And then I'd also add a third, which we kind of revisited this week, which is right here heading north on 71. That is Dustin West. We're still in a negotiation with him too, but he was not put into the blue for whatever reason, but he should be.
Is that a circle you're already showing, or
Yeah,
be an
it's on
addition?
here, it's just yellow.
The yellow circle there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And those negotiations are around participating or around actually leasing their ground?
No, just good neighbor agreement.
Yeah.
So it won't allow us to do anything with their property in particular. Honestly, for a lot of these folks, it's just gonna be free money for them for having to live around the project. I mean, with the 300-foot setback staying in place anyway, most property lines don't extend. Like the 50-foot taken off the back of the property line usually doesn't extend further than the 300-foot setback from the actual dwelling. So in the long run, we're not gonna get any more buildable out of it, but it'll pump more money into the community.
Joe, did you have more questions for him?
Yeah, if anybody else wants to go ahead, you can sit down.
Okay.
If anybody else wants to ask anything, or?
I just wanted to
Go ahead,
clarify with Apex the anticipated start time for the project, if all was approved, the anticipated start time, and the length of time that you intended to build out and when it would be connected to the grid and up and running. And along with that, is it my understanding that the purchase agreement is with Duke, and that 85% of the energy has been sold? Is that?
That's right.
Okay.
So our anticipated start date is January 2027. And as far as
Start-
will be constructed, so when
Start
construction
of
begins.
operation, or
Start of construction.
Start of construction. And then for operations, we push into 2028, so we currently have an April 2028. Now, could that push as far as the operations? Sure. These things, there's so many pieces to the puzzle. This is just one of them. So there's always delays when it comes to anything. We know this, right? So could that push us? It could. But we are aiming for early, let's say Q1 2027, and then April 2028 for when this gets onto the grid. As far as, sorry, is that anything further on that? As far as the purchase, yes, it is 167 megawatts have been purchased. So that leaves a remaining 33, which we have been actively on the market, and that's fine. So we're not concerned about that one at all. But so that will be purchased. We're actually looking at, I've been hoping to find some Indiana-based purchaser for the offtake, but it's not as easy as it sounds. So, but anywho, we have it out to market, and we're looking at other off-takers for it. So, but that's a very positive front. What we've been seeing.
Thank you. Do you have more questions? You have more questions?
No.
No?
No, just before we do finding effects, I have just a summary of the requested information that I had asked in general, and I was just going to kind of summarize that. But I would even entertain if there's any other questions.
Joe, did you have any other questions?
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide how to proceed here. So I think if there's going to be a couple conditions I would like to add on to this at the end. Do we want to speak of those now, or do we go through findings of fact first, or? Madam President. Madam President.
I was asking, do we also have a rebuttal for the 15-minute rebuttal?
We do not need 15 minutes. We will keep it.
I think in the past we've gone through the finding of facts and then done the considerations, and I would think that
I'm in agreement.
Some discussion of those considerations in public would be appropriate, depending on depending on our outcome of finding of facts.
Yeah. Do you want to do those discussions now or after the findings of fact?
Probably after. I would assume after.
I'm indifferent. I don't care. Okay.
Perhaps we hear the rebuttal first, and then we can decide.
Yeah, because I think the normal flow would have been close the public hearing and then let the.
I got one question.
Roulettes do their rebuttal.
Okay.
But go ahead. You can have your answer.
So I have a question to refresh. I went to that meeting you had at the firehouse in St. Renee's, and we spoke, and you told me at that time, I can't remember exactly, but you said you had about 2,000 acres leased.
Okay, yeah.
And you said the project would be about 15 to
That's
1,700.
Right. So we have leased. A reminder, last time I was here, we spoke about setbacks from wetlands, forested areas. So we have more signed. Under panel, it's going to be 1,560. So that's the discrepancy that you're seeing in those acreage amounts. We lease more because we have to. And it's all part of, as we get closer to the design of the project, we get down to the penny on that acreage amount. But right now, if you look at this picture, that equates to 1,560. But you're gonna see, like, we talked about, there's more in here we talked about it too. We had some underground collection easements that are signed. That's calculated in it, but under panel. Does that make sense?
What's your current overbuild percentage? Over design?
Well, hey, it shifted because we removed Farrington.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
That's why I want to
know. So we had, I think we were at 40, then we went down to 30. So I think we're somewhere between 30 and 20. To have to check with design.
20 and 30%.
Yeah, overbuild. And we do that with purpose, right? So when we get closer to this design, that we're not like, oh gosh, we need more. So we have overbuilt.
Is it possible if you began building this project and that you would build to that total 130%? Or were you just billed to the 200 megawatts?
We only have, that's all my sole use. We
Thank
cannot
you.
go over.
Thank you.
And just real quick, while we mentioned Barrington's, here's the new map from them.
We removed, so you'll see that the Barrington driveway, we removed panels abutting their driveway.
Yeah, because it was gonna be in this area, they were gonna be in this field and in this field, if I'm correct.
That's correct.
And now they've moved them out, as you can see on the photo.
So it's,
I'm good with it.
Okay, well, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure.
If they want to give a rebuttal, I'm okay, Madam President.
Yes.
Yeah, if they want to do rebuttal. Now.
Yeah.
I'll hand it off to Jay to start first and I'll close it up.
Do we need to time you?
He's a long-winded guy.
Good evening once again. My name is Gerald Hess. I'm an attorney with Apex Clean Energy. Thank you everyone for your time and attention. We are going to keep this rebuttal to less than 5 minutes, okay? And we're just going to make 3 points because I know there's a lot that we could cover. First, I'd like to talk about the Aegis letter and make sure that we're all on the same page there. And second, I'd like to address some of the concerns raised by Mr. Root, specifically about our attempts to verify setbacks from residences and what steps we took to make sure we're right about a residence versus a non-residence. And for that, I'm going to ask Nathan to get back up here since he did that work and help. And then finally, I'm going to turn it over to Megan to close. So it'll be a quick rebuttal. So first, the Aegis letter that Ms. Carpenter was nice enough to share with us yesterday. We saw it had 6 comments. I spoke with the author of that letter today. I believe he's provided another email to Ms. Carpenter as he told me he was going to. So I believe this is consistent with what he should be putting in an email, but because it was a limited scope, limited time, he only looked at the plan sheets. And it says that on the very first line of the letter. And so then I was able to confirm with him that he didn't disagree with anything we put in our response. So the very first comment he had was, well, where's your commitment to repair? It's not in your plan sheets. I agree, it's not in our plan sheets. It's in the appendix to our permit application. And we sort of marched through each one, and even though it's not in a plan sheet, because we were trying to keep our plan sheets simple to be readable, everything is in fact in the permit application. And so I would respectfully disagree with any characterization of the Aegis review that suggests they found any problems with our application. They didn't point out any actual problems. They just simply said, well, we only looked at the plan sheets and these topics were not in the plan sheets. We don't disagree with that. So I'd encourage you to look at our response where we tried to address that point by point. Secondly, I do want to just make a very quick note about property values. There was a public comment here that property value studies were authored from China. Out of respect, we brought Ms. Bowen here so that you could meet the author of our property value study. It was not authored in China. She authored it. At the last hearing, there were some questions brought up about a Purdue study. And that Purdue study, we provided the citation in our post-hearing submission, is a study from a master's student at the University of Purdue. It found, looking at agricultural land, that solar farms actually increased property values for that area immediately adjacent to a solar farm. And there's a lot of speculation as to why, and I don't pretend to understand it, but you've got 2 American studies there for you in the record. Second point. And lastly, sort of on all of that, I would also just note for the record that I'm not sure Apex Brulettes Creek Solar has seen everything that's been submitted. And I would respectfully just object for the record that it's not really fair for us to sort of not know what the record is before us. I understand that all of this is happening quickly. I certainly understand that this is a big project for this county, but it's important, should this go to court, that I make that objection so that that objection is noted for the record. So I would just make it. Okay, second point. Mr. Ruth brought up concerns, which are legitimate concerns about what steps we took to verify residences. And so that when we say structures, occupied structures versus non-occupied structures, we are correct. And I would just note one thing before asking Nathan to sort of give you the details. Section 3.3 of our permit application goes into this in detail. And this is where, you know, the Aegis report just did not have the benefit of looking at that part of the permit application. It says, quote, there are no non-participating homes within 300 feet. So this distinction of structure, occupied structure, we understand that we need to go out and figure out what's a home and what's not. And so to help you understand the steps we took to make sure that we were right about that, I'm going to ask Nathan to just briefly speak on that, and then hand it over to Megan to close. Thank you.
That's okay. Yeah, hold on. So I've pretty much been the agent leading this GNA effort. I can drive this county without using GPS, and I can name you every single one of those circles if you ask me one right now, and I can give you their names. So yeah, unoccupied structures, like we had to drive through. Some of you may know Taylor Strayer. She works at Apex, lives in the county. She was a good resource for me to use to navigate all this, but you know, we drove around to multiple areas. I mean, St. Bernice, going up into Dana along Bend 71. You know, we took pictures, we sent them in, we drove by all these places. I mean, some of them are just sheds holding farm equipment, grain silos, for instance. Yes, there are somehow, there's a, I won't get into that one.
You say donkey?
Yeah, there's a house up on Jonestown here, owned by the same owner. His name is William Jackson. He's actually got 3 structures here. So his house sits right here. He's got an abandoned trailer directly beside him. And then he also owns a house right here on Jonestown Road that's completely fenced in. It's fallen in on itself, but there's a horse and a donkey running around the property. So that's something we'd consider an unoccupied dwelling. Like, no one's actually living there. They are owned by someone, but it's not a residence. So no one's living in it. But I mean, as of right now, we have 22 good neighbor agreements signed. 18 of those are for occupied houses. 2 of those, or I should say, in that 22, 18 houses are included in there. There are 4 solely properties. So that would be right here, Mr. Chris Scott, Mr. Kelly Cheese right here. This was a land contract with some grain silos with Mr. Reed Ingram and Tim Foltz. And then another one by Mr. I can't reach it, but it's up there. Another one owned by Mr. Cheese, right? We also have 2 buildings that are businesses. Dome Seed up on 71 along the bend here. And the other, oh no, sorry. Also Reed Ingram, it's like a storage office building for his farm operation. It's also on 71 there, right beside his house pretty much. If you're looking at his house, it's directly to the left. So, and then we're still in negotiation with people. So we're not done with this effort. We're still rolling with it.
It's also important to note, if somebody was interested in signing a good neighbor agreement, this isn't like closed.
No, we're still talking to people.
We can't necessarily, we can't provide it on this map, right? But if somebody came to us after this and wanted to sign a good neighbor agreement, that's fine. It's not a closed, until we get probably to construction, then that might be a changer, but just want to note that.
And some people have signed underground collection easements and also have houses like on those properties. That's kind of represented here. I believe this is Rux Kabinski here and here. And then Stratton, I believe, to the north there. So that's, and we've also sent out mailers. I've done door knocking to probably almost 100 different residences. I mean, just these circles don't even represent every single one we've gone to. These are mainly focused within the project area, something that's going to be 300 feet, intruding into the boundary of a parcel we have leased. So that's kind of how we've done this.
And I guess all that to say, it was done, we drove the site to verify, I think is the best way to say it. So we we did a lot of outreach to get that, to confirm what these structures, were they occupied or not. Just to close this up, I just want to reiterate to the BZA, Apex has done everything we can think of to show this application meets all of your requirements. We have provided a map that shows non-participating, a transcript, we've responded to confirmations, we've removed panels from the Parrington family, we have talked to Trina, the Florida lady who wanted to move. We've done everything we can think of to help in this process. But that, I want to make it known, that's not, we will continue to be engaged. While this is just a part of the process, we're here. I consider seriously Terre Haute a second home. So we're here. I mean, Terre Haute's Geigo, but I am here all the time. And I am continuing to be engaged with my landowners and everyone in this community. Lastly, I mentioned the Farringtons. I also wanted to just mention at the last meeting, Judy, you stated that our application sets the standard. And that's a comment that made us very proud. As you can see, we have an overwhelming amount of support for this project. And I just ask the BZA to say yes. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's the end of your rebuttal. Right. Okay. That's the end of your 15 minutes.
9 minutes, say.
Well, I guess next is to go through the findings of fact one by one. And
No, hold on a second. You've only got 4 findings of fact on here. Do we need to have them separate for each of the 2 applications?
They're separate, yes.
Oh, they are separate.
Yeah, this is only for the special exception.
Ah, okay. Got it here. Got the special exception, says right there.
so I normally read these out loud.
I was gonna say, or can I just make a statement about the confirmations that I had requested after our meeting? We were asked if there were any additional questions or concerns we were gonna present them to Penny, and then she would get to whomever would be able to answer those questions. So I had generated some requested confirmations. I was asking for either a verbal or written commitment prior to our finding of facts review from a variety of different people from the county, indicating at the last meeting that although I've been a BZA member for many years, I'm certainly not an expert in certain areas such as, and I used the example of drainage or financial bonds. I understand the concept, but the specifics, I wouldn't consider myself an expert. So I wanted to be certain that there were some confirmations from people within the county, because this project certainly impacts a specific area of the county around St. Bernice, but it also impacts all of Vermilion County. So I feel like although we're the Judicial Review Board, there are other people also responsible for giving us information so that we can make an adequate decision. In these confirmations, I believe Penny sent them on to Apex, and you also responded to them, which thank you very much. I didn't expect that, and I knew where you were going to find your references because that's where I found them also. But I just wanted to read those statements again as a public record, that this is what I had requested prior to us going through the finding of facts. I asked for a statement indicating that the petitioner's application was complete and that all submittals required by the UDO were actually submitted. And this was, the reference I used was the Dan Taylor attorney review, and I suggested either Penny or a member of the APC would be able to make that statement. There is somewhat of conflicting statements. Several members of the APC said yes, they felt that the application was complete. There is a member that says that they feel the application is not complete. And again, I'm just making these as statements. I'd asked for a statement verifying that all owners of land which were part of the project had consented to, and the filing was authorized as a special exception document. And again, asked either Penny or the Apex agreement to be verified, and that was done. I asked for a statement indicating that the proposed use of the land was consistent with the general agricultural zoning and the comprehensive plan. Again, I've received statements from several of the APC members that yes, it is, and from an APC member that no, it is not. I also received from the county commissioners in the transcript that was provided, through Apex, that two of the commissioners agreed that it was part of the zone. It was appropriate for the zoning district and the comprehensive plan. I'd asked for a statement indicating that all proposed setbacks are met, including buildings, fences, roads, for all participating and non-participating landowners. That was clarified today with the map that we were given. I asked that for a statement indicating that proposed setbacks were in place for the FEMA 100-year flood plan, wetlands and streams. That was somewhat addressed in the egress report. And again, I had also noted that they talked about their report as a plan sheet, and I went back and referenced their comments to the Apex document and found the information that was referenced. I asked for a statement indicating that proposed vegetation and management plan was appropriate, as well as the vegetation screening buffers. And I asked either Phil Cox or Soil and Water Confirmation to make that statement, and I have not officially heard that the plan is appropriate, even though it was addressed in the egress report, and again, a rebuttal from Apex. I'd asked for a statement indicating that a pre-construction meeting was held with county emergency personnel and the project contractors, and the proposed emergency action plan and an in-person training plan for police, fire, and rescue services was appropriate. And I do have a letter, and again, most of this went to all of us. I'm just stating it that I received the documents. I do have a letter from Director Jim Miller from the Vermilion County Emergency Management Agency. He indicated that he has met with representatives from Brulette Creek Solar on a couple of occasions. They have been very forthcoming with their emergency action plans, and even stated that they are actively working on them for the specific site in Vermilion County. In these meetings, the district fire chiefs have also attended. They voiced no complaints to my knowledge as to the safety plan. They've also advised that they will be hosting training for the area fire departments before project completion and periodically during the operation. In my opinion, the proposed solar project shows no sign of danger to the citizens surrounding the solar project, as well as the citizens on whole within the county. I'd asked for a statement that the decommissioning plan is sufficiently comprehensive, and we have received some indication of that from the commissioners and the city council. I asked for a statement that the decommissioning bond was appropriate. Again, several of the county council, on the last one, it should have been county council. Several of the county council members have indicated that, as well as one of the commissioners. I had asked for a statement that the stormwater drainage plan was appropriate. I received a statement from Eric Scheidler, who is with Soil and Water Conservation. He indicated to me that getting as much information as possible is always crucial when development like this comes our way. The Soil Water Commission routinely has the opportunity to be a small part of that process once construction starts, as we review the sediment and erosion control plans along with IDEM. This is to ensure that there are adequate measures in place for any runoff from the site, as well as proper drainage management. Once the project is permitted, they will file their notice of intent with IDEM, and then plans are reviewed and approved if they meet the minimum requirements. I hope your inquiries for this information have been fruitful. It's from Eric. I'd ask for a statement from the stormwater drainage plan is appropriate. Also, Ron Mack had indicated that the drainage board, and this is again from the transcript and from last meeting, that the drainage board was in agreement with the plan that was presented. I asked for a statement that the plan to minimize and mitigate public roads is appropriate, as well as the commitment to repair damages. This was addressed in the egress report, and there was a rebuttal by Apex. We've not officially heard from the county council or the commissioners. And finally, I asked for a statement if there was a need for a special review and the hiring of a qualified consultant to review the application, and that review was completed by egress, as well as previously it was completed by an attorney before our plan got started. So I just wanted to be sure that all were aware that this was the information that we were requesting prior to our finding of, I was requesting, and it informed our other members here that I would like before we started through the finding of facts.
Thank you. Any other comments before we start with the findings of fact? I just wanted to, for anybody in the room, to kind of review how we've gotten to where we are now. We created a comprehensive plan a couple of years ago. And in that plan, we said we want to entertain alternative energy sources. We want that for our county. We spent another couple of years working on a unified development ordinance that replaced our old zoning ordinance. And we had a pretty healthy section of that dedicated to alternative energy and what kind of rules we wanted to set around that. So when we get to this, is that Rowan? When we get to this point, what we're looking at in these findings of fact and what our challenge is as the Board of Zoning Appeals is to verify that everything is in order with our comprehensive plan and our UDO. And then we're going to go through these 5 findings of fact. And I think that my opinion is that the Brulette's people, the project Apex has done a very thorough job of going through these and just crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's. Very, very thorough. I think that's what Judy had referred to last month about it kind of sets the standard for future ones. So bear with me.
I do have a kind of a comment discussion amongst us to go over. Is the Aegis report, right? Mm-hmm. So we have built into the UDO the fee to help cover the cost of doing an engineering analysis that is outside the scope of our expertise. And do we all feel comfortable with what Aegis has produced as a high level review? Or would we want something that goes a little deeper, like the last line that says it does not include a detailed engineering analysis or review of any calculations? So I'm kind of asking the BZA, are we comfortable with proceeding without exhausting everything for the county and actually having this really gone through by an expert, or are we happy with what has come about? And I'm not even familiar with how Aegis was contracted to do it, because I've never heard APC discuss that, so I don't really know how we got that part done. But I'm just asking you guys if you're comfortable with proceeding with, just, for the interest of the county, do we want to exhaust everything we can on?
I think we could, correct me if you think differently, but we can request that Aegis review their construction drawings before they would ever start construction. So they wouldn't re-engineer it per se, but they would review those drawings. We can ask them to do that. I agree.
Are you guys nodding or?
It's not a vote.
Yeah, no.
I spent 8 years of my working life as an engineer, and I've been through all of these papers, and I've read that book through and through, and I can tell you that these people have done their homework. What they're about to put forth is a top-notch project. Now, I'm not a solar engineer; I'm a mechanical engineer. But from what I've read and what I've seen and what I've talked to, these people are not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I'm comfortable with this.
Okay, so would we want to entertain are you saying a condition on this exception, yes, being an Aegis review, full review?
Just give them the review of it.
I'm okay with that, and I think after we look at the finding of facts,
I mean, they're going to have to pull a building permit, and when they pull their building permit, they can supply the construction drawings for the project, and he just can review this. And I'm not saying that's to stop the project or anything like that, but that's just a second set of eyes on it.
Right.
If he just were to see something,
I'm okay with that. I doubt they'll find anything, but
I'm an engineer too, and I probably agree with you on that. But it's an opportunity for a safety factor for the county in my mind.
better be safe than sorry.
I mean, so you're asking us, Travis, if we want to still just go forward rather than requesting that review now?
Is that what we're coming to?
I guess I would have done it as a condition after the fact, but
okay.
I'm okay with going forward.
Yeah, I believe I am
If we
too.
get there.
Earlier today, I was questioning until I read the review back from Apex that like it's all in there. Now I have not been able to go back. I didn't have the time to go back and look at chapter and verse and verify that. Judy is very thorough with that stuff, and she has done that. And she said, yeah, it's all in there. So the things that they said were not discussed actually were.
Really?
Yeah. So, but I agree too that having somebody review it that's got that technical expertise is a good idea, but maybe, as Joe said, do it as a condition of acceptance if that's where we're going with this.
Okay.
Any other comments before we start in on the findings of fact? Okay, I started to say a minute ago, bear with me because I have to read all this into the record. And
are we doing the special exception first or the variance first? Okay, go ahead.
yeah, did I?
No, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, because the special exception doesn't, the variance.
Yep.
Depends on what this is. Okay, the Board of Zoning Appeals shall make findings of fact on the following criteria. Approval of findings may be in the form of a general statement. Disapproval of findings shall specify the reason for non-compliance. Number 1, the proposed special exception use is consistent with the intent of the zoning district and the comprehensive plan. The reply to that is consistency with intent of zoning district. The UDO specifically contemplates the siting of solar projects in A1 general agricultural districts with a special use exception. All parcels are voluntarily participating in the project and are zoned A1 general agricultural. UDO section 2.03 articulates the A1 district intent. Specifically, UDO section 2.03 states that the A1 district is for existing agricultural land, and the district intent is to protect the integrity of land and operations, while also to discourage strip residential development. UDO section 2.03. The project helps satisfy each of these goals. First, the project's over 45 separate agreements with landowners demonstrate that existing agricultural operations want this project. This project allows these farmers to diversify their income by providing annual lease payments that farmers can depend on and that are not dependent on rainfall, weather, and commodity prices. Participating farmers want solar projects. Solar helps farmers diversify income and protects existing agricultural operations from the volatility and uncertainty that is inherent in farming, all while keeping farmers on the land and farming. Second, the project protects the integrity of the land and the existing agricultural operations. The project offers this protection not just through lease payments and diversifying farmers' income streams, but also through effective vegetative management practices and the meaningful decommissioning obligations that are found in the project's decommissioning plan. At the end of the project's life, the land will continue to be agricultural land, yet after decades of being left fallow and having the benefits of improved soil health, it will promote and protect the existing agricultural operations. Co-locating solar panels on existing agricultural land allows farms to continue farming as opposed to commercial or residential development that permanently removes the land from agriculture. Third, the project discourages strip residential development as explicitly called for in UDO section 2.03. Owners of the project's participating parcels are less likely to convert their land to residential development because of the income they will realize from the project. For all of these reasons, the project advances the district intent of the A1 General Agricultural District that is articulated in UDO section 2.03. Next section under that, still findings of fact number 1, consistency with Vermilion County Comprehensive Plan. The project is consistent with the county's comprehensive plan by developing and utilizing alternative energy sources while also increasing and diversifying resources, strengthening and preserving agricultural land, and continuing the rural and agricultural character of the county. On March 15, 2022, Vermilion County adopted the Vermilion County Comprehensive Plan. The comprehensive plan includes several specific land use goals, including land use goal number 3, which is to plan for the development and utilization of alternative energy, and includes multiple general goals, such as continuing prosperity in the future despite limited resources, attracting and retaining a workforce, and preserving farmland. The project advances both specific land use goal number 3 and these general goals. First, comprehensive plan use goal number 3 is to plan for the development and utilization of alternative energy. Comprehensive plan, page 29. The comprehensive plan identifies this goal as both a short-term priority and a long-term priority. Comprehensive plan, page 87. The project unequivocally advances this goal by allowing Vermilion County to host a utility-scale solar project that is owned and operated by an American company. The project is ready to commence construction next year and come online by 2028, consistent with the comprehensive plan's description of alternative energy as a short-term priority, but the project is also a long-term commitment and investment in the county by Brulettes Creek Solar, with the explicit intent of creating a long-term partnership between the project and the county. This is consistent with the comprehensive plan's description of alternative energy as a long-term priority. Second, the project is consistent with the general goals that appear throughout the comprehensive plan. Bullet point number 1, the comprehensive plan recognizes that the county has a declining population and therefore Vermilion County's resources are limited, yet it seeks continued prosperity into the future. Comprehensive plan, pages 8 and 17. As discussed elsewhere in this application and in detail in the Baker-Tilly report, the project is projected to generate nearly $23 million in tax revenue for the county, making the project one of the county's largest taxpayers. In doing so, the project increases the county's resources regardless of population trends. Bullet point number 2, the comprehensive plan recognizes that Vermilion County needs to develop strategies for attracting and retaining workforce in the county. Comprehensive plan, page 20. The project advances this goal. The project will provide up to 400 construction jobs, and it anticipates providing 3 full-time, long-term jobs in operations. The 400 construction jobs are a significant opportunity for Vermilion County. Indeed, as stated elsewhere in this application, the project has selected Vermilion County-based White Construction as the lead contractor for the project. The project's post-construction 3 operational jobs are well-paying, stable, long-term jobs that can support families in Vermilion County. The project helps the county attract workers by aligning opportunities in the county with nearby workforce training initiatives. For example, Ivy Tech Community College has a renewable energy technology program that trains students for careers in constructing and operating solar projects. Brulettes Creek Solar would enable Vermilion County to attract these locally trained workers to the county. For more information on Ivy Tech Community College's Renewable Energy Technology Program, see, and there's a hyperlink listed here. Ultimately, the project is consistent with both the district intent for the A1 General Agricultural District and the county's comprehensive plan. It supports and advances the goals of the district and the county goals as stated in the comprehensive plan. That's it for finding of fact number 1. So we'll be voting on these individually. So if there's any discussion at this point, otherwise I'll call for a motion.
I would move to take a vote for the finding of fact number 1. That is, this special exception is consistent with the intent of the zoning district and our comprehensive plan.
And do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, the proposed special exception use will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Granting the special use exception permit variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because the construction of the project will not pose any public health hazard, given that solar facilities do not produce, accumulate, store, or emit pollution or contamination in quantities that harm soils, water bodies, or adjacent properties. There is no evidence that the project creates a threat to health, morals, or general welfare of the community. Rather, the project captures, converts, and transmits safe, clean, and vital energy to the electric grid for the benefit of the community. The project's facilities are inside a secure fence protected from public access and do not pose any increased threat to public safety. The project has provided ample protections through its 29-page emergency action plan, included as Appendix F to the permit application, which describes emergency response procedures to be implemented during various emergency situations that may affect the project or the surrounding community or environment. The EAP describes installed alarms, site access for emergency responders, and automatic facility shutdown technology for emergencies. On August 21st, 2025, project representatives met with Vermilion County Emergency Management Director Mark O'Hare and incorporated his feedback into the EAP. The EAP includes health and safety specifications for all equipment to be used and provides for annual in-person training for police, fire, and rescue. The EAP identifies project personnel to notify in emergencies. That's it for number 2. Any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
You can say no.
Did you?
No.
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 So that motion passes.
Would you make a statement in that regard, Travis?
Oh,
Your opposition?
my statement is just the health, mental health. People who are just gonna, don't like it are gonna be irritated by it. So it could be seen as an irritant to some folks that aren't
Really
in
in
agreement
favor.
with it.
Yeah.
And it has been spoken here. It's been, there has been people who say that. Okay.
Finding of fact number 3. The proposed special exception use is in harmony with all adjacent land uses. The project will not interfere with the use of adjacent land. There is no evidence in the project's facilities. There is no evidence that the project's facilities emit pollution or adversely impact the water supply to adjacent lands. For participating properties that do not host any project components but are adjacent to other participating properties that do host project components, perimeter fencing will be set back at least 5 feet from the property line. Where substantial vegetation does not exist on project areas adjacent to residential properties, the project will install planting and buffer yards that adhere to the county's vision clearance standards. Agricultural co-use of the property outside the project's fence is planned in buffer and setback areas where landowners are expected to continue planting and harvesting crops. The project will deploy dust control during construction. The project's solar panels are designed with dark, light-absorbing materials and anti-reflective coatings to minimize reflection, which reduces glare by 99%. While the project's glare report established that the project is not anticipated to result in glare, the project committed to leaving as much vegetation in the 25-foot setback area around the project perimeter as practical to reduce any unanticipated glare. The record also establishes that solar energy facilities do not emit considerable amounts of noise. The primary sound producers are the inverters and main power transformer in the project substation, which will be placed internally within the solar array to reduce sound outside the project. The project provided a noise study conducted by a third-party expert showing that the project does not produce sound greater than 50 decibels L90 in areas adjacent to residential and institutional uses, or 60 decibels L90 when adjacent to any other use. These noise levels are all within the applicable restrictions and demonstrate that a solar energy facility is quiet. Sound produced during construction will be temporary, of short duration, and will be reduced using sound muffling equipment. Once operational, Occasional maintenance activities will produce minimal noise. And that's the end of the finding of fact number 3. Discussion, questions, comments? If none,
I move that we approve fact finding number 3.
okay. Do I have a second? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, the proposed special exception use will not alter the character of the district. The comprehensive plan seeks to strengthen and preserve the county's agricultural land and to continue the existing rural and agricultural character of the county. Comprehensive plan pages 26 and 62. The project promotes these goals. The project keeps farmers on their farms by giving them a consistent income stream. The project's decommissioning plan and decommissioning surety bond ensure that at the end of the project's life, the land that hosted the project's facilities may resume its agricultural heritage. When project setbacks, vegetative screening buffers, and landscaping commitments ensure the area around the project remains rural and agricultural. Unlike converting farms to residential subdivisions, the project will be designed with setbacks and vegetative screening buffers designed to complement and maintain Vermilion County's existing rural and agricultural characteristics. Any discussion on number 4?
I would just say it absolutely does alter the character of the district, but that it is in alignment with what our zoning UDO is. So
Yeah, I agree.
So I
altering
believe
the district.
It's a little odd here that the special exception asks that we not alter the character of the district, but our UDO is saying it's okay to do it. So in that regard, I am going to vote to pass this, but I do want to say that it absolutely changes the character, but that it is acceptable character change per the county UDO.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are you making that as a motion?
I would make the motion to we accept this finding of fact number 4.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Okay. Motion carries. Number 5, the proposed special exception use will not substantially impact property value in an adverse manner. The project presented strong evidence that property values will not be adversely impacted by the project, including the variance. The project provided with its special use exception application a robust real estate adjacent property value impact report, the property value analysis, prepared by an independent firm, Cohn Resnick, which studied the impacts of the project on surrounding property values. The property value analysis used 3 techniques to evaluate the impact of solar facilities on property values. 1, analysis of published studies from at least 7 well-recognized U.S. universities. 2, a before and after paired sales analysis of properties surrounding solar farms. And 3, interviews with real estate professionals and appraisers for direct market observations of property value impacts. Cohn Resnick interviewed county assessors and valuation experts from 6 Indiana counties with solar projects who each stated they have observed no negative property value impact from the presence of solar facilities. Property values analysis. Considering the totality of their analysis, the property value analysis concluded the data indicates that no negative trend of property values is evident for properties adjacent to solar facilities. Property value endless at number 5. And that's the end of number 5. Any discussion, comments?
I think there's no doubt that these projects substantially impact the property value. The question is it adverse manner or not? And I again fall back to some extent to this is an acceptable usage in our UDO. So the question then becomes, can we affect it so that it's not in an adverse manner? And I would offer that taxation is not under the purview of this entity in this body, but county council and commissioners have all spoken here, have spoken about taxation. So you guys kind of opened that up. So I will weigh in a little bit. I was the signatory on the solar project at the Rise. We did offer them taxation savings. At this point in time, if we were to redo that project, I guarantee you the Rise would not offer that. So I think if I would offer to the county and to the company that if they want to do this project and not affect or provide as little effect as possible on property values, that the full taxation of the project would be beneficial to the county and to the property owners in relieving taxation burden for the property owners. But in that manner, that's just my opinion. I will vote to pass this number 5 finding of fact.
Is that a motion?
I make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm opposed.
Okay.
I've received several comments that, first of all, looking at the studies that were completed as well as the information that I looked at, I will agree that the ag property in the area will likely increase in value, especially that's likely to happen. I'm not sure about the residential homes. You know, when you talk to realtors, you hear location, location, location. Is a solar farm within so many feet, or are you driving by, going to impact their ability to sell their property? It might. I've also received some comments from people that said that they were afraid to attend this meeting last month or this month, afraid to stand up and make a negative comment. I'm sorry about that. I feel like we've tried to be very transparent. We've asked people to come forward. We've sent out notices. We've tried to be very informal and pleasant, despite your positive or negative opinions. And so I certainly encourage, at least in the future, anyone who's listening to this information, please, if you have exception to a project or are in for a project, please come forward. We would love to hear your opinion. So again, in regard to this exception, I just don't know what it would do to a homeowner's property value. So that's the reason I'm voting against this particular finding of fact.
That motion did carry, though. So all of those have passed, so it's approved.
Do we look at the conditions and then we have to look at the overall?
Okay.
Yep.
It will be approved based on those votes, but with conditions.
So
And then overall.
can I offer up conditions now?
Yep.
All right. So the first condition I would ask that there is a complete binding agreement with the Vermilion County Commissioners on designated road usage and also road repair and upkeep. I understand that is typically part of an EDA, but I do want to impose that as a condition of this body, that be completed. Number 2 is a binding agreement with the Vermilion County Drainage Board and also approval of the Vermilion County Soil and Water conservation. No, what, not district, just Vermilion County Soil and Water, thank you. That they also have a binding agreement with them. Number 3, I would ask that there's, Penny, can you zoom up that or blow up that drawing just a little bit? As I've looked at the participating and non-participating structures, you have the 2 in negotiations, and I don't have a clue who any of these people are. Go down, or who any of these entities are. There's one, and what I looked at is, do these non-participating entities have an opportunity to look to the north, to the south, to the east, or to the west, at least in one direction, and see open space? And there is one that concerns me, and that is the blue circle in the middle.
So this one right here?
Correct. I would like to ask and impose upon the entity that either they have a good neighbor agreement with that dwelling owner, or that they move back additional beyond the panels. And my suggestion would be take the leg to the west and move it north so that we have open space to the west.
You know who lives there?
Yes. Jackson.
Theo Jackson. I'm just wanting to make a note.
You got it.
And I would also, not imposing this, but I would ask that if you have opportunities with other non-participating owners to move beyond the minimum distance, I think everybody would appreciate that, especially if you've got a 20 to 30% overbuild design at the moment. So the opportunity is there. I encourage you to take advantage of it. And then the 4th thing as condition was just that I would ask that 1 month prior to start of construction that we receive those completed construction drawings for review by Aegis. That's all I have. Anybody else have anything?
Those were on my list.
Did you have any more?
No, I didn't know if we needed a statement that, although I know it's required, but just that, again, just as a condition to make sure that we're all aware that construction definitely begins within 2 years of approval of the project. If not, we'd have to reapply. And again, I know that we've stated that, but I also feel that if that is listed as a condition, then it's.
Did you say within
I'm
2
sorry.
years?
Within 2 years.
Within 2 years.
Of the approval, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. Can you repeat that?
That construction begins within 2 years, and that's actually part of the special exception, but I feel like that needs to be pulled out and just.
Excellent.
That's great.
That's all I have.
I'd like to see a written commitment from the company, the owner of the project, a commitment to the county to maintain the ownership with a penalty upon sale that would go to the county. I don't know who the proper negotiator would be for that, but the commissioners.
I think that'd be the county
decommission.
The county commissioners would do that as part of an economic development agreement.
And the EDA.
I don't know. Somebody's gritting teeth. Greg, would you? I know that's not your expertise, but.
Sorry, yeah.
Yes.
Municipal advisors, financial advisor. I'm sure I would refer to the attorneys that can.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Any other conditions?
You condition not to sell.
Just a commitment to ownership. They made the statement that they would like, that they do not intend to sell. It'd just be nice if we had a formal commitment to the county to stay.
I think that's a condition you can impose.
Is that something you cannot impose?
I don't think it's a condition that can be imposed.
It's not like it's a contract. It'd be a penalty upon sale. So,
In a monetary amount? Or?
So that's
something for you
The
lawyers
idea
all
that
figure
it
out.
becomes less marketable because I don't know. I don't think that can be imposed. That would take more research, but.
Fair enough.
So scratch that.
I think you're saying we can't do that.
I would think it would be overstepping significantly.
Can we state it that,
We can encourage.
that
We can
we
encourage.
would encourage that they
it's-
make every effort to maintain ownership?
I really don't think it's under our purview, honestly.
Right, but-
I mean, if the commissioners want to work with them on that.
And how do you measure whether they made every effort they could?
Again, it's just.
That's a legal term.
Yeah, that's for the lawyers to figure out. I mean, I'm just saying if that, if not, we erase it.
We could ask though, just here for the record, what is the plan to operate the project indefinitely, or is the plan to sell or lease the project?
Not currently, I can't predict the future, but no, sir, the intent, the plan is to own and operate.
Thank you.
So does the special exception transfer to new ownership?
Ron? Anything to say? Yes.
Once it's issued, it's issued, so.
Legal says yes.
So it kind of travels with the land.
Yes.
So now we go on the entire project. I think we have to have a motion to accept the entire project and all the findings of facts as well as the conditions that we stated.
Any other discussion or conditions or?
Discussion, it's just, this is quite a big impact on the county. It's, the 2,900 acres is 1.8% of the land mass of the county. It's just a big impact that is upon, and it'd be nice if the APC would look into more of a better parameters on development of all kinds. Not just this, but anything. There was a comment made at the last meeting. It was Mr. Southard. He came up and said he's not opposed to the project, but he said that where does it end? When we all look around in every direction, there's panels. So that's something to be concerned about, is where does it end, and get a balance on it. It's obvious there's huge support in the St. Rene's community for this. But like Judy said, some people are afraid to speak up. But it would be nice to see some type of revisit on the plan and on the UDO as far as
that is on the APC
limitations
agenda for January. Or do business.
I think it's a great opportunity for this entity to come into this county and build a project that the people of the county can decide whether something they want to continue with for others in the future or not. So if this entity does a great job, then the people of the county may say, let's do it again. And if not, they may say one's enough.
Are you guys looking at another project within Vermilion County?
No, we looked at that reclaimed area and that was not feasible and we're done. I'm getting really gray hair, so I'm good.
Judy, you make a motion?
I was gonna say, I would just want to tag on to what Travis said. I feel like we used the information that's in front of us, the documentation that's in front of us to make our judgments. And I know there was, several have spoken against the project, but as we looked back over I'm gonna say in particular myself and the rest of us, as we looked over the comprehensive plan, as we looked over the UDO, we clearly tried to take into account what those entities wanted or would allow to be accepted. So if the APC or other people do not feel that that's appropriate for the county, then we would surely encourage the APC to relook that information for the future. That way?
Go ahead.
So My understanding is we need a motion to accept the finding of facts with the additional conditions of approval. So I'll move to present that.
Do we have a second?
It's your turn.
I've done several, but I'll do another one.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say no.
No.
Motion carries. Yeah, applause.
We're not done yet.
We gotta do the other hard part.
They're still not out of the woods yet.
Thank you. So, moving on now to findings of fact on,
Can we get everybody to sign that?
oh, this is what you're doing, okay. I thought we were moving on to
No,
that.
sorry, I just wanna get everybody's signature while we're there.
How does that work? Is it everybody that approved, or do we all need someone since it was approved?
Is there a place for yay and nay?
I don't see it.
I think he will sign and mark it as
Yeah,
nay
no,
next to
mark
his name.
Nay next to his name, yeah.
Do we need to mark the A next to R?
No, I don't think it's saying that, will be fine.
Okay, do you have the,
Joe?
thank you. Does someone else want to read this?
I can read it if you want me to.
Do you want?
I can read it, yeah.
Awesome.
I think you should sign and say.
Barbara's your last obligation.
You don't want to sign. Say you voted against it.
Okay.
Say nay.
Somebody's got to do it.
It's technically new business.
I got no problem with you.
Yeah. Everybody sign?
Oh, mercy.
Okay. So this would be under the category of new business. Moving on to the variance number 25-08, findings of fact. And this is regarding the exception or the exception variance? Variance to approve the 50-foot height of some of the equipment. And John is going to relieve me. He's going to read it for the record.
Okay. Standards, variance, findings of fact. The Board of Zoning Appeals shall make findings of fact for a development standards variance on the following criteria. 1, the approval of the development standards variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Granting the requested variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because the evidence presented demonstrates that the requested variance supports these same considerations. First, the evidence shows that the grid interface facilities subject to the variance request do not emit pollution or contamination. Thus, the addition of up to 40 additional feet to the height of the proposed grid interface facilities will not pose any public health hazard, given that the facilities do not emit pollution or contamination. Second, the facilities are inside a secure fence protected from public access, and the increased height of the facilities does not pose any increased threat to public safety. Third, the increased height of the facilities will not injure the morals or general welfare of the community. Rather, the facilities are integral to the proposed Brulette Creek solar project and are necessary to convert and transmit safe, clean, and vital energy to the electric grid for the benefit of the community. There is no evidence that the proposed height of the facilities will cause injury in any manner to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. Fourth, the height of the proposed facility to ensure compliance with national safety standards for electrical facilities. Specifically, the standards in the National Electrical Safety Code collectively necessitate the use of taller structures to ensure compliance. Sections 232 and 233, as well as Table 232.1, outline the required clearances between conductors and the ground and clearances between conductors supported by different structures. For example, shield wires and phase conductors. Fifth, the evidence shows the requested variance complements existing structures and agricultural practices on the subject property. Specifically, the existing Duke Energy transmission line poles the project proposes interconnecting with are already over 50 feet tall. To ensure proper equipment clearances and seamless connection to both the switch yard and the existing transmission line, the project substation will also include equipment that exceeds 50 feet in height. Similarly, allowing equipment that exceeds 50 feet in height ensures appropriate ground and height clearances for agricultural equipment that will traverse the subject property, thereby allowing the current agricultural practices to continue.
Okay, do we have any?
That's finding number one.
Thank you. Any discussion, questions, comments? Okay.
I move we approve fact finding number one.
Okay.
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Okay, number two. The use and value of the area adjacent to the subject property of the development standards variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. The added 40 feet height of the grid interface structure does not preclude the use of adjoining land, and there is no evidence to the contrary. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because of the 3 steps the project has taken to avoid or otherwise minimize impacts to adjacent properties. First, the project is voluntarily complying with the UDO setbacks for solar facilities. Specifically, lateral connections to the power grid are exempt from setback requirements under Section 5.65D of the UDO. Despite this exemption, the project is voluntarily applying the setback requirements for solar power plants to the substation, thereby minimizing potential impacts to adjacent, non-participating residential properties. These setbacks create a distance that minimizes the visual and auditory impacts of the facility, as well as minimizing the possibility of any odors that could result from the operations of a substation. Second, the project will screen the substation with landscaping to the greatest extent possible. Specifically, although not required, the project agrees to install landscaping consistent with Buffer Yard C in the UDO's landscaping standards found at UDO Section 5.47 for any areas that do not already have screening vegetation. Those standards ensure that adequate visual screening is in place so that there is little to no visual impacts from the substation. Those landscaping standards will also help minimize any auditory impacts from the substation as well. Third, this variance request is necessary to comply with safety standards. As described in Section 1 above, NESC safety standards necessitate the use of taller structures. Complying with NESC safety standards ensures that these facilities are safe, thereby ensuring that they will not adversely affect adjacent properties. Finally, The project presented strong evidence that property values will not be adversely impacted by the project, including the variance. The project provided with a special use exception application a robust real estate adjacent property value impact report, the property value analysis, prepared by an independent firm, Kohn-Resnick, which studied the impacts of the project on surrounding property values. The property value analysis used 3 techniques to evaluate the impact of solar facilities on property values. 1, analysis of published studies from at least 7 well-recognized U.S. universities. 2, a before and after paired sales analysis of properties surrounding solar farms. And 3, interviews with real estate professionals and appraisers for direct market observations of property value impacts. Kohn-Resnick interviewed the county assessors and valuation experts from 6 Indiana counties with solar projects, who each stated they have observed no negative property value impact from the presence of solar facilities. Property value analysis at 4, considering the totality of their analysis, the property value analysis concluded that, quote, the data indicates that no negative trend of property values is evident for properties adjacent to solar facilities. Property value analysis at 5.
Thank you, John. Any discussion, comments, questions?
Just, so this is 90 feet tall, is that right?
Up to.
Up to. Is there any way it can be designed and built?
The tall points are really, they're lightning antennas, essentially.
They're lightning masts.
And it's NEC code, I think, that it has to be that tall. Is that correct?
No way around it. Okay.
We need a motion.
Yes.
I move that we approve fact finding number 2.
Thank you. Do we have a second? A second? Anybody? Bueller?
Give me a second here. Give Bueller a second, would you please? We're not able to strike anything out of this, are we, Tammy?
That would be a lawyer question.
To strike some
He's saying that.
findings.
Okay, I make a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Okay, fact number 3. The strict application of the terms of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance constitutes an unusual and unnecessary hardship if applied to the property for which the variance is sought, because the substation facilities cannot be feasibly designed with a height that meets the UDO's 50-foot limit. Without the grid interface substation facilities as designed to a height of 90 feet, the applicant's solar project will be unable to operate and fulfill its intended purpose to transform and transmit clean solar energy collected at the project onto the electric grid for end users. Additionally, Section 9.12A of the UDO mentions height as an example of an appropriate basis for a development standard variance. Absent a variance, the 50-foot height restriction places the applicant at an unfair competitive disadvantage when compared to energy projects constructed by other public utilities with grid interface facilities commonly exceeding 50 feet in height. The strict application of the UDO's height limits creates an uneven playing field. The property where the subject grid interfaces facilities will be located is well suited for a structure up to 90 feet tall.
Thank you. Discussion? Hearing none and seeing none, may I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. All opposed, say nay.
I was an aye.
You are an aye. Okay. So now we just need a motion to accept this whole application.
I so move.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Okay.
So it's unanimous?
Yes. All were, and the overall was. Okay, you got it.
Signatures again.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Before we sign?
There's no other business, so. Yeah, I hear it's snowing hard in Terre.
It's, wasn't supposed to come till 9.
So are we adjourning, Joe? Did we get a second?
Not yet.
Just want to again thank Barbara for serving with us. We've really enjoyed having you on our board. And so I'll second that motion. To adjourn.
I would like to thank everybody for their time they've spent here on both sides. Thank you.
Do we have to take a vote on whether to adjourn? All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.
Did you send those to us beforehand? And I didn't read that.
Thank you. Appreciate your time, your
Do good. Do good.
I just wanted these guys that didn't really want to raise the height to walk under a 50-foot one and see